and welcome to our third video in the series on how to diagram market failure. In this section, we're going to look at how you can solve or possibly mitigate the effects of market failure and show this on a diagram. So, solutions to market failure. Oh, my eye looks like an L. Weird font. Okay, so this is should be a repeat of the diagram we were looking at last time. Right, we have a market for good X, we have a quantity in millions of kilos on the bottom, and we have clearly a negative externality because the marginal social cost for this product is higher than the marginal private cost, meaning that society pays more for the production of the good or service. Okay? So what can we do to this firm that theoretically is negatively impacting society, perhaps causing CO2 emissions? First answer, if you were paying attention in our government intervention unit, it's always tax. Okay, so will tax work, and what would a tax do? Well, we always apply tax to the supply curve, right? And so marginal propensity consume is very similar, right? It's the same curve, marginal propensity consume. Oh my gosh, I just went into macro. Marginal private cost is the same as our supply curve, right? So if we're going to tax the firm and shift up the supply curve, what we would do here is tax the firm and increase their marginal private costs, right, by shifting it to the left. So I would draw in a new marginal private cost curve plus tax, right? And in this case, I did not have my marginal private cost plus tax equal or come up to the marginal social cost. I guess that's your choice where you draw it. How big is the tax? How much of the negative externality are you actually going to get rid of? This is a debatable question, and why tax is a debatable solution. Like, how much will it actually work? Because we don't necessarily know for sure, right, how big the externality is. Right? We have estimates, perhaps, but a lot of this is kind of guesswork. So, educated guesswork. So for this instance, we were functioning, the firm was producing equilibrium price and quantity, where marginal social benefit equals marginal private cost here at PEQE. But society wanted us to produce at Q2 at a higher cost because they want less, right, which are marginal social cost equals marginal private benefit. The tax shifted everything to the left, right, the production to Q1, should be Q1, P1, Q1, P2, right, because the tax increased the cost to the firm, and thus they produce less, and consumers dropped out due to higher prices, right? So we have a new equilibrium at a higher price and a lower quantity, which is moving towards the socially optimal quantity, and then my externality now is smaller. It's this, the welfare loss is this little triangle in blue. Sorry, it's kind of wonky looking. This little teeny one here, right? Because this is now the big triangle here before, right, was where the welfare loss was, and now it's this tinier triangle, right, because we've made it smaller because we're producing here. Okay, so tax, theoretically, depending on the amount of the tax, right, could move production towards a more socially optimal level and eliminate or at least mitigate a market failure. So, can you answer these three questions? Without government intervention, the free market will operate at what point on the diagram? Make sure you can explain it. What's the socially optimal quantity? Where should the society be producing? Make sure you can label it and explain. And how does a tax limit an externality? Right? Be able to show it on a diagram and explain. All right, let me know if you have any questions. See you next time.